an accident scene ahead of us. So I wanted to give you guys a perspective of what's going on. So whenever you have this situation, you want to try to be in the middle lane. We don't know where the scene is. Cars will cut you off. This could be New York, Houston, Texas, downtown Detroit. We just want to be aware and keep space. And it's a good thing I have about a half a tank of gas and just want to be safe. And why are they using that stainless steel on there? That's crazy. And then, of course, that wood to the right in that vehicle, that could also come out. So I want you to give you your perspective, and hopefully we'll pray that the person is okay. It's a good thing you leave early, you have enough gas, because the younger me would have just thrown in $5 trying to get to work real fast and ran out and panicking. I think as you get more wise and get more experience, hey, I got to have at least a half a tank. I got to have some cash in my pocket. My debit card's got to work. So you're going to learn so much, because I want to give you guys real life. I'm not going to be fake and just give you scripted things. I really want to show you what's happening so you know how to deal with it. And we've all seen videos of New York and Texas and Florida, but this is going to give you a different perspective. So state police are coming up there. We don't know what's going on. You can hear them, and we want to pray that they're okay. My car is kind of putzing and hesitating too, so I'm scared it's going to shut off. So that adds a little bit of anxiety to the situation here. I have about 4 more miles to go. We'll just see how long it takes you. That's why you don't cut it to the last second. And the state police will either get over, they'll go to the right, or they'll go to the left. That's a beautiful BMW, that white one convertible. I'm not really a foreign person. I like domestic muscle cars, but that's really nice. So I'm just trying to be patient. It could be a flipped car. Could be a collision. We don't know. Rollover collisions are the most dangerous. Head-on collisions are extremely dangerous too. So we're just moving very easily and very gently. And oh, this car's almost cut off. So scary. I don't know what's going on. And then that bottom rail that protects us from going underneath the truck. Even though the rail still will bend and break, and the front of the car and the top of the roof will be ripped off, thereby decapitating. It is there. So I did some research on that. Speed limit 112. What's going on with this car? This car's throwing up some trouble codes. I could be in trouble. So we won't run out of gas, but the car could cut off. And this is where people get very erratic, very nervous, and very hesitant. So I'm just trying to pack my patience and not lose it, because in accident scenes like this, you just don't know what's going on, and people panic and they start making phone calls. So I don't have to do all that because I left early and our fuel is fine, but we can't see ahead of us and we don't know what's going on. As long as our lane keeps moving, I'm fine with it. So I'm not going to start shifting lanes, cutting over, because that's going to make people very angry. When you drive, you got to be aware of, you're driving in public, P-U-B-L-I-C, and you've got to think of others. Oh, the car just cut off. Oh, God. So now I'm really nervous here. This car cut off. And if you drive long enough, you will have a breakdown. It could be in a downtown Texas, downtown Florida. So you just have to stay calm, but really you're screaming in the inside because you're like, please don't break down. Please, please get me where I need to go. And we depend on our cars, so that's why I'm a firm believer in just taking care of them. And once you start your car in the morning, you know how it sounds if it doesn't sound good or if it's not running good. And that's part of your self-care because you want to get to where you're going and you want to be safe out here and be consistent and not be a big jerk and cut off people and make them mad. But it seems like we're moving a little bit more, and I'm happy with that. But also, I'm optimistically cautious. So my foot's on the brake and we're just rolling along. And I'm just trying to keep my space in that panic if this car cuts off on me. Because accidents do happen. I'm more aware because I'm an instructor and I try to give you a real life perspective so you know what's going on. And then you can say, hey, okay, I need to leave earlier. I need to make sure I have a half a tank of gas at least. I need to make sure I have my boss's number, my coworker, so I can text them in case, hey, there's an accident. Open up the lab for me, I'm running late. So I'm just sitting here. Seems like the car's idling a little bit better, but the speedometer keeps bouncing up and down. We're not moving. The temperature's normal, so I'm okay with that. Car's starting to hesitate and surge a little bit. Could be a dirty air mass flow. We just don't know. A lot of cars have auto start. This car does not. That saves fuel. Just keeping our space, not trying to tailgate so we can see. And how do I feel? I'm pretty calm. I'm not panicking. I hear more police coming. And you will only experience this if you drive long enough. If you don't drive and you're waiting till you're 27 or 37 or 40, you'll really panic because now you're an older adult. You're trying to get to work, maybe pick up your kids, and then where are you? We're here waiting. There's nothing I can do. There's an accident. So you just have to, still more police coming. Something still going on. That's the state police. So they're at the top of the food chain. So we just have to sit here and wait and be patient. And also, I look on the road in front of me. You should be able to see that is there debris, is there metal, because that can cut a tire. Had that happen, unfortunately, I had a warranty on my tires on my truck, and the tire company did not want to honor that. But when you buy that warranty, and some people say don't buy it, some people do, you buy that warranty if you're out there by yourself and you're just starting your job, because these roads are very dangerous. And we're in North America. There are other roads that are just cars surging again, and that's kind of scary. But you buy that warranty to protect yourself. State police. It's serious, man. Something's happening. So all we can do is just stay here and stay chill. And of course, wherever you guys are watching this in the world, there are accidents that happen all the time. Pray that no one is hurt, everyone is okay, because that's extremely important. We're still good on time, our fuel's still good, and we just have to sit here and wait. But a lot of these things happen, and we just want to do our best job and stay as safe as possible, because that's what we need to do, is just stay safe and stay consistent. And if we stay safe and consistent, the outcome will be more successful. And then you have some time to kind of personally reflect, hey, am I in the right job? You know, what about my relationship with my family? Relationship with God? You feel me on this? So it gets really deep. Everyone's a little bit different in their religious beliefs and what's important to them. You know, when you're a teen, you're like, hey, I just want to graduate. And, you know, will I be able to take a girl that I got at prom? And I'm going to get my license, make my parents proud. That's how I feel. I want to make my parents proud. Many of you do that. And even into young adulthood, I still want to make my parents proud. And, you know, I want to move out and get a good house, find someone to marry. So there's a lot of things that all of us think about that could lead to success later on. And it's just planning. Because when you plan, you're more likely to have a positive outcome instead of just seeing a pretty face and jumping at the first job, because we've all had to take jobs that we don't like and that we learned from, and then trying to get your first home. So that's when it becomes real. Your car and your home are your biggest purchase. So for many of you, you're riding a 2012, 2015, 2017, which is fine. And your parents may help you. My parents did not help me. I had to buy my own. But that taught me a valuable lesson as I look back. And I was scared to bring it home. I parked it in my friend's house about half a mile away. I walked. But then I said one day, I'm tired. I'm going to drive it home. And then I walked inside and I told my parents, hey, I got my car out there. And my parents looked at me like, whose piece of junk is this? It's my piece of junk. So when you had that honest conversation, and that's when it started, and I was scared because my dad was old school. You know, my mom she just looked at me. So you have to make those decisions. And sometimes they're good. Most of the times they're good. Sometimes they're not good. Good is you buy a decent car. Bad is it breaks down all the time. Tires, brakes. You can't afford to buy anything new. But it's a lesson that all of us learned from. And some of you will be able to experience that. Some of you will not. Because from the comments you've been saying, things that you've been leaving in the community page. And I want to know more about you guys. You know, how do you feel? What do you do? What's going on in your life? And it helps me understand the perspective, because my perspective may be different than yours. We all want to work every day and we have families. We want to live as long as we can. And a second time, if you are driving really fast and being deceitful in relationships, it's going to come back to haunt you. And you're living on the wrong side of the law. You won't reach 25. You won't reach 27. You won't, you know, just because you have a license doesn't make you an adult. Just because you have a child doesn't make you an adult. It's still personal responsibility. Are you going to take care of your child? Are you going to do the right thing? So there's so many things to reflect about, but ultimately it's about you getting the right education, listening to your career counselor. If you're good enough to play sports and maybe make it to the professional level, fine, but that's very, very few people. I was good enough to have a few professional tryouts, a couple Canadian League tryouts, World League, but ultimately it did not pan out, and went back to college, driver's ed certification, teaching certification, and then developing career and educational path, and still doing driver's ed. So I tell you these stories to encourage you to live your best life. And if you have someone who's going to support you, your teacher. I had a teacher named Mr. Van Hoos. Yes, Van Hoos, sound like the book, speech teacher. So he said, hey, you can do it. You know, I believe in you. And that little old kid, little black kid, skinny black kid with the afro, like, okay, had a good football coach, you know, had good enough to get a scholarship, 5 offers, good grades. So you have to take advantage of the opportunities that you get, internships, programs. We can't worry about who's going to be president or the solar eclipse or other situations. So you really need to plan. I don't know whether you're 17 or 27 or 37, because the journey does not stop. It goes on. And I'm not talking about living high off the land, eating good every day, beautiful import, just surviving, high quality of life, because eventually you'll learn that material wealth doesn't mean anything. Okay, it's about relationships, good health, living this long, you know, staying at a job that you like. If you don't like the job, learn what you can, get together that resume. And that's one thing I would tell you, all these cars that are driving on the side, getting your resume and posting it. And that has helped me. I see a lot of jobs going by. If I think the job can fit my skill set, I'm going to do it. But also you have to think about family and responsibility, because I'm not a teenager anymore. And you have a house note, a mortgage, you have car note, life insurance, bills. So if we were doing a lesson right now, I would say, you know what? We might be running late. We got to call the next group of students. So that's all we really can do. And this teaches you patience. So we're just going to wait. We're going to do the best we can and prepare. And those are the lessons your cousins, your older brothers or sisters will teach you. They'll give you that lesson and you're like, I don't really understand, but you kind of understand from older cousins. And I was the first boy in the family. So a lot of my girl cousins sat me down and talked to me about, this is what you need to do. This is how you respect a young lady, your mom, your cousins, your future girlfriend, your future fiance, your future wife. So you got to rely on your family. And a lot of you, and I understand this, you just, I'm adopted, or my dad was killed in the war, or my mom is, you know, out on drugs. I get it. But I try to give you stability, and I try to give you real life. And that's all you could have today, is stability. Because tomorrow's not promised. You know, we look at the lunar eclipse, we lost sunlight, and the temperature dropped. So imagine the ice age where temperatures dropped. And there's going to be pollution, plastic in the water, ozone layer. So all of these things. I don't know what's going on. I might have to get over to the right lane. And then whatever's going on up here, it could be a rollover collision, don't know. It could be down 10 miles. But we just have to wait and be patient. And, you know, when you're in a car, you get a chance to think about, am I in the right career? Am I in the right job? You know, am I going on the right path? You know, can I afford to get this new car? Can can I get this house? Can I move out? You know, I want to marry someone, or I want to get out of this relationship. So I'm going to turn on my right blinker, and then eventually I'm going to try to get over. I don't know if anyone's going to let me out. So I'm just waiting. So my blinker's on. Man, it's a lot of traffic. Are they going to let me over? Wow, bro. I'm not going to hit this truck. So you saw the corner of that truck. I waved, and you can't be scared to get over. I was a little scared. I'm not going to lie. You saw the corner of that truck. So this is real life out here, and I'm not going to lie to you. People lose life every day. Life is, and I'm going to be nice and let them in, right? I don't know what's going to happen. We're still moving along pretty good. By me getting over one lane, we're passing cars. 10 cars, 12 cars. So we're just moving along really nice. And I'm not going to change my driving demeanor because of this environment. Because you're going to be who you are. If you're a nice person and drive, you're going to be a nice person. If you're disrespectful, you're going to drive disrespectfully. But there are other people out here who are a bigger fool than you. So I think growing up, you'll learn balance. You'll learn how to make good decisions. You'll learn to rely on yourself, because you can't rely on your friends, because that's just who they are, friends. Friends don't make the commitment to get home, get a car, a relationship, have a child. You can't just live with someone because it's convenient. My parents taught me, be independent, have your own. And that's the message I want to give you. Be independent, have your own. Don't rely on others. We're going to keep elevating and keep growing. So I'm just trying to judge, do I get off at this exit coming up? Do I go straight down and go back around? Because we've been stopping over the last half an hour. Because I can take the service drive down. Whew. Semi-truck out over. Can't mess with that. So I'm not going to mess with that. You saw how fast that truck came over? Not going to find a semi-truck. And I was in his blind spot, or her blind spot. So I'm deciding to take the service drive. And I'm going to go up real easy. So you have to prepare for these circumstances. You have to prepare for when you have an accident, prepare for when your car breaks down. And that's what I hope all of you do, is prepare.